Have you guys seen the transits? Happy 8-8. Let's get into it because yeah, so I'm actually going to do a roll call of the degrees that's in the sky. So let's have a seat. We have the sun at 16 degrees, the moon. Well, the moon is going to be transiting through Gemini the entire day, which we know it's going to be a very overactive mind. And then we have Mercury at 28 degrees. Cancer, I love chef's kiss. As we know, 28 degrees is a heavy manifestor degree. It's a Cancer degree. It's also ruled by the moon, and it translates to having an appreciation for country life. It also speaks to a modern day Pocahontas. Stay with me here. Next up, we have Venus at 1 degrees Libra, and to be honest, it's probably going to be at 2 degrees by late tonight, which is indicative of supreme power. By the way, 1 degrees is a baby degree. It's an Aries degree, so it has that fire energy. Now we have Mars at 28 degrees Gemini. I love that placement so much. It's also a matriarchal marker. It's a heavy manifestor. I love when 28 degrees is in Gemini because that's typically indicative of someone that's going to be giving big media vibes, someone that's good with technology, someone that's probably going to be in tech, someone that's just very future oriented. By the way, 28 degrees is a household name or household fame, but also it speaks to having great allyship with women. It speaks to building a woman-run empire. I just love that. I just love that energy. So for anyone that's especially an entrepreneur or has been thinking about starting something new, this is the perfect time to step into that energy and work towards it. Next up, we have Jupiter at 8 degrees Leo. 8 degrees is a Scorpio degree, very transformative. I love this for us. Next up, we have Saturn at 14 degrees Aries. 14 is a karmic number and it speaks to issues with commitment. So I feel like during this time, many of us may be called towards, focusing, locking in, revisiting old commitments that we may have broken, but also finding a way to commit to something by any means necessary. So, you might want to pay attention to that, especially for anyone that has 14 degrees anywhere. Understand, like, that's probably an area where you need to find a way to lock in or commit. You may struggle to that degree. I find like when people that have this placement may struggle to commit, they eventually do, but it's very hard for them to commit. But when they do, it's like they're locked all the way in, okay? It's up and it's stuck. Next up, we have Uranus at 5 degrees Gemini. That's a very creative degree. I love this energy so much. And you know what? I'm probably going to have to do a part 2. So does anyone have any of these degrees so far? Let me know, comment below. So anyway, back at it. If you haven't watched part 1, please go ahead and check it out. This is part 2. We're doing a roll call to kind of talk about the skies and the forecast. By the way, I'm Venus Feroci. I'm a lifestyle goddess. Let's get into the forecast because this is what you need to know. Starting off with Uranus at 5 degrees Gemini. I love Uranus at 5 degrees. By the way, for anyone that has 5-degree placements, you're inherently creative. That's an area of your life that is prone to like this very catalytic, very random bouts of popularity, random creative urges. Oftentimes, people that have this placement, they find themselves as an artist, living a life as an artist would. So if you have 5 degrees in that placement or in a particular area, I wouldn't be surprised if you ever feel called to write a book. People that have this placement, they typically have strong creative pursuits or they live their life as an artist. Okay, so wherever you have that placement, pay attention to it and see if you find yourself having these random bouts of creative urges or even random bouts of popularity. Okay, just see it as that's where your creative energy lies and you don't want to neglect it. Next up, we have Neptune at 4 degrees Aries. Okay, by the way, we have Neptune and Pluto at 4 degrees, right? Both of them are retrograde. And this is probably going to be the last day they're going to be at 4 degrees, and then it's going to retrograde into 3. So Neptune at 4 degrees is an inheritance indicator. Wherever you see 4-degree placements, I know that's an area in which someone has a lot of power. We always think about generational trauma, karma, patterns, pathologies, but what's also a thing that's passed down is power. So wherever I see 4 degrees in a birth chart, it lets me know like this is where a person's power was passed down because their parents did not do enough of it. right? So, and here's a little fun fact. So, wherever 4-degree placements are, understand that this is an area where you're meant to inherit. It's like having a trust fund baby degree, it's like having a spiritual inheritance, it's like having a spiritual inheritance indicator that speaks to when one aligns and when the time is right, you shall inherit nepotism, level of fame, fortune, abundance, almost as if your parents had done well and they were able to materialize those things in their generation and had it preserved and sustained enough to pass down to you. Okay, so that's one aspect. And sometimes, what you'll see is when someone has 4 degrees, and sometimes they do inherit. Okay, wherever you see that, someone is meant to inherit. And I feel like so many times I'll see this in someone's birth chart and they may not be able to see it now or the ways in which they'll inherit, but there's something about that 4-degree energy that kind of forces someone to align, right? Because it's who walks around with like a trust fund and doesn't claim it. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like there's something about that. I feel like the same way in which lessons will seek you out, I do believe abundance does operate in the same. Okay, so I feel like for you as a human being, the best thing you should do for yourself is just focus on aligning. Okay, so there's that. Now moving on, I just know with Neptune at 4 degrees, there are going to be people that's going to be romanticizing a future where in which they inherit more. I do believe that a lot of dreams are going to come to fruition. A lot of people are going to be romanticizing or creating dreams or making things materialize from a place of alignment. So that's how I'm seeing it. Not to mention with Pluto being at 4 degrees, I see people transforming for the sake of alignment, for the sake of inheriting more, for the sake of being prepared and ready to inherit. But what I've come to notice is over the past year, there has been so much transference of wealth. Okay, there is something about that, and I think that this is the times that we're in. There's like a major switching around of wealth. Like energy is not lost or gained, and wealth is a form of energy. So wherever wealth cannot be maintained or wherever wealth is lost, just know it's being gained somewhere else. It's being transferred somewhere else. Okay, so there's something about that. Next up, we have Chiron still at 0 degrees in Taurus. For anyone that has, 0 degrees in Taurus, this is still the time for you. You're in your Chiron return. So this is something that's going to impact everyone. For anyone that has Chiron in Taurus, but for those with 0 degrees Taurus, you're first up, okay? You're first in line and having this experience around your Chiron return. And we have the nodes sitting at 29 degrees Aquarius. I think there's something around the nodes being at 29 degrees Aquarius that really speaks to a very transformative time. I find that with 29 degrees, with the nodes being at 29 degrees, I think that will also be activating clairvoyance. We have been noticing that many people are getting more dreams or more vivid dreams, or people are just feeling more clairvoyant, or they're feeling their power. It's going to be activating people that have that placement, but also is forcing people to think more future oriented. Aquarius is the divergent of the zodiacs, and wherever you see Aquarius energy, that's the ways in which things will be changed. And note is all about destiny and fate, and right now we are in a fated time where so much is changing. We are in unprecedented times, but also during times where things will inevitably change. Things are going to inevitably occur. So with that being said, that is my take on this. Does anyone have any of these placements? This is a very interesting time. Does anyone have this? Let me know. Comment below.